show for the Law Enforcement Torch Run to benefit Special Olympics Michigan, Haley Herbert. Hi, Haley.
Hi.
Seems like you were here last year.
Yeah, I was. So this is the second year that we're putting on a comedy show here in Jackson. The hope is to continue next year as well. So my goal is to expand it each year, get more people, raise more money. This year we're going to have Kate Brindle and Billy Ray Bauer for the comedians. Dwayne Gill was unfortunately unavailable, or else we would have booked him. He was retiring this year and didn't know exactly where he was going, so he recommended these two comedians for the show this year. And nice. Next year hopefully we can get them back. But
this is you created this. This is your idea.
So I didn't create the idea. So Garth, one of our people, he Garth Burnside, he used to work for MSP. He's retired now, but he does comedy shows in Ann Arbor and Kalamazoo, and we were kind of looking for a spot here to do one. Everybody kept talking about it, and finally I was like, all right, well, I'll just figure it out. So Gene Davis and Sons, they were gracious enough to donate the venue.
Wow.
We do pay them for the food, which is understandable because with the cost of food and inflation and everything else, I wouldn't blame them. So they are good enough to give us a place to do it, and the comedians are covered by a sponsorship through, well, I don't know if you want to call it a sponsorship, but we get money to cover them. So the cost of the tickets, if you just pay like the day of, or if it's just $20, the whole $20 goes back to Special Olympics. If you pay for the dinner and the show, then part of it goes to pay for the food, of course, and then about $25 or a little bit more goes back to Special Olympics.
Wow, that could be a big night for Special Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, it could be right now. Currently, I believe on our website we have like $840 that's raised. And then for in-person ticket purchases, we've got $400 worth of that. So, and I was talking to some people at work, so hopefully they'll buy some tickets and show up. So.
Well, I'm sure our viewers, I'm sure there's some comedy fans and Special Olympics supporters in our audience. The Torch Run is the law enforcement organization composed of corrections officers, state cops, local officers and sheriff's deputies, all throughout the state.
Yeah, there's about 150 like law enforcement organizations throughout the state that help. Actually, Michigan right now, currently we're at about, I believe, $1,875,000 that we've raised this year. Yeah, so our goal is to get to $2 million this year, and that would, right now we're currently 7th globally, like in the LATR program for like money raised. So our goal is to be number 1 eventually.
Yeah, so the Special Olympics, it wouldn't exist really without Law Enforcement Torch Run. Not in the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, not in the way it is, no. I mean, we raise a lot of money. We love our athletes. We love participating with them, seeing them. Summer Games is amazing if you ever have a chance to go to that. That's actually how we get a lot of people hooked on on fundraising and doing different events, is by getting them to go to Summer Games. And then after that, we have them, and they come and they help out with fall games. They help out with winter games. They help out with Tippah-Cops. We have like fire truck pulls. I think they do airplane pulls, I want to say, somewhere, or at least I heard of that. That may be an idea if they don't do it. But we also have cornhole tournaments, and then of course we have Run Week, and we have our polar plunges that we do. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of events, but I mean, it's for a good cause, and we love doing it.
And you yourself are a corrections officer here in Jackson?
Yes, I am.
And what was it about? Was it the Summer Games that got you into it?
Yeah, actually, I was a police cadet over at Port Huron Police Department in the Thumb area, and Jenny Leach, she was a records lady there, and she was like, hey, why don't you come to Summer Games with me? And I was like, oh, okay, like, sounds fun. And so I went, and I seen the athletes. We did opening ceremonies, closing ceremonies, handing out medals. Like, honestly, Special Olympics is probably the most positive part of my job. It allows me to raise money for a good cause and to have a good time with people. And it's just a positive environment where generally I can work in a very negative environment just due to people and
you're in the prison.
Everything. Yeah. So
It's great that you and all of your fellow employees in law enforcement give so much to this cause. Now, the comedians, you actually previewed the comedians. You were part of the booking committee. So what are these comedians like?
So I don't know them personally. Dwayne Gill, Dwayne Gill, I knew because he did volunteer stuff and he did previous shows for Garth. So from my understanding, he sent me a list of people and I watched some of their stuff on like YouTube and I emailed with them back and forth. So it should be a good show. I'm very optimistic and very positive about that. So I don't think that Dwayne would steer us the wrong way.
No, plus I was looking at their bios you sent along, and they've opened for
Yeah,
a lot
for
of
a lot of
yeah.
good people. So
If a top comedian hires one of these,
Yeah.
you know they're good.
yeah.
All right. This is the end of the fundraising season for this year. You got anything more coming up?
So I know that in the beginning of next year we'll have the Polar Plunge. So we do actually start fundraising for that come like end of November, December kind of thing is when we start asking for donations and sponsorships and stuff like that.
Do you yourself jump in Clark Lake?
So yes, I have. And actually my daughter before COVID, she was 5 and she jumped in.
Oh,
So, and it was great because the announcer at the end of like when we do the awards and stuff, he was holding her up and he's like, hey, if a 5-year-old can do this, like, where are all you guys? Like, so, yeah, I do the Polar Plunge as well. It's a lot of fun. So you could come out for that too.
it's fun to watch too.
I'm sure.
The comedy show, Friday, October 28th at Gene Davis, and you can get tickets. There's a website. It's called give.classy.org/JacksonComedy22. Hope you have a full house.
I hope so too. You can buy tickets the night of if we have enough seating. So I plan on asking them to have like some chairs on the side somewhere so we can set them up if we need to. But the deadline for the dinner and the show is going to be the Monday before. So next Monday is when the deadline for that is. So if you want to have comedy and dinner, please buy your tickets by Monday. That way I can give them a heads up so they can prepare.
Great. Good to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome. It's fun. I like doing it.
Law Enforcement Torch Run, presenting comedy show and dinner night at Gene Davis. Thank you, Haley Herbert. We have used up all our time.